Hello and welcome back to another popcorn chat. I hope you guys are doing well. In this video I'm going to be speaking to you about the latest release, Evil Dead Rise. So this is a new film in the Evil Dead franchise. So in this one we follow two estranged sisters who reunite in this family flat, and amongst this sort of reunion we see a rise of flesh-possessing demons. This leads them to battle for survival as they face the most nightmarish version of their family imaginable. I was really excited to check this one out as I've never seen an Evil Dead film in the cinema, and seeing it with a crowd made the whole experience a lot better. It really added to the jump scares, the humour, it all really encompassed what an Evil Dead film is about. One of the main things I really liked about this film was its cinematography. There's some really creative shots, both in terms of practical sort of camera work as well as editing. It really sort of added to this film and made it sort of much more elevated in terms of being, you know, a piece of cinema, not just, you know, sort of a B-movie kind of horror. Getting to see these really sort of creative parts on the big screen really added to the experience, and I wish that more films, especially horror, kind of thought about those, you know, different kind of movements and what they can do with the camera in order to tell that story better. This had great practical effects. I think the gore was pretty good. There was lots of sort of use of CGI, again, sort of very much like the 2013 version where it didn't shy away from the violence, and that really helps because of the CGI in this. But then again, it leans a lot on the practical in terms of the makeup. And that leads me on to my next point, which is also performance. I think everyone does an excellent job in this. I think Alyssa does a really good job in terms of the physicality, really sort of committing to the role. I'd seen her previously in the show Vikings, which I absolutely loved. And this is such a depart from that character. And I think she does a really, really good job when she actually becomes possessed. I think the initial character is maybe a little bit weaker, you know, in terms of a performance at least. But I think she does really, really good in this one. I do think the children do a really good job. I do think Beth does a good job as well, but I have to say that Alyssa is a standout for me. In terms of negatives, I do think some of the story arcs could have been stronger, especially Beth's, which they set up really well in the first act, but they don't really carry that through and give a sort of finite reason to that. We come back to her story now and again, but I would have liked to have seen a stronger through line. I would have really liked some more backstory on the children. I didn't really get to know who they are and therefore didn't really care when things happened to them along the way. Early on in the film, we do have this setup that the father has left the family, leaving Alyssa's character to be the matriarch of this situation, and I think there's a little bit there, but I think that again could have been delved into much deeper and how that's affected the kids. That's not really touched upon much. I think there could have been a lot more in terms of, you know, character building. I think the script is lacking a lot of character work. I think there could have been a lot more elements that made them more three-dimensional, and there's definitely space to do that in this film, but I just think that could have been a lot stronger. I do think this film could have pushed itself a lot further in terms of the gore and the violence. Maybe I've become a little bit desensitised, but I think being an Evil Dead film, they could have pushed it a lot further. I'm going to give Evil Dead Rise 3.5 stars out of 5. All in all, this is a good film. I think it falls very much in line with the original trilogy in terms of its gore as well as its comedic performances. Lee Cronin is able to make a unique take on the Evil Dead franchise whilst also paying homage to the original trilogy. I do think the fans of the original trilogy will enjoy this film, as well as those who like the 2013 version, which takes itself a lot more seriously and builds upon those character elements. I think lots of fans are going to be pleased with this. I enjoyed it. So let me know your thoughts down below. I'd love to check those out. So there you have it. There's my review on Evil Dead Rise. Do you think we're going to be getting another installment in this franchise? Or do you think they're going to be focusing a little bit more on the TV series? Let me know your thoughts down below. I'd love to check those out. Thank you so much for watching my review. I hope to see you guys very soon for another popcorn chat.